Claire Faucett, owner of Engage 5W.
So let's talk about reality TV shows. What's your initial thoughts as a PR professional when it comes to reality TV shows, how a business should react, respond?
I think it's easy to get swept away with reality TV shows, and they are entertaining, and that is definitely where TV has gone over the past 5 years, or is to a reality show. People have shown that they are intensely curious about other people's lives, and social media proves that too. If you think of the way that we use Facebook all the time, there's a definite voyeur tendency to the way that we live our lives, and there's security in that. There's security in only being the viewer. The problem is that when you are suddenly in the show, the reality show, you lose. You don't know what's real and what's part of the show anymore, because it's all supposed to be real. But the image that you're showing, you're still yourself. So it's incredibly, as a public relations person who likes to control information and put out certain pieces to paint a picture, it's incredibly scary. I mean, if I were in a reality show, I would be really worried, because you can't control the outcome of a reality show. That's the whole point of it. And so there is some element of risk that you are putting yourself as an individual, your name, your identity. It's all at risk when you are saying, okay, I'll go on the show and be unscripted, supposedly, and we'll just see where it goes. Who knows what's going to happen? It's the same as if you were talking to a reporter. People get really, really nervous when they talk to reporters because they don't know what's going to be written about them. Well, it's times 10 when you're in a reality show.
So what are some things that maybe some business owners can do if they were ever a part of a reality TV show, or let's just take that instance of being interviewed by a reporter where you're underneath that microscope, that they could prepare themselves for that?
I think you have to have some boundaries set inside, like within you have to set your own boundaries. Don't allow boundaries to be set for you. Have your hard and fast lines that you have said that I am not going to compromise X, Y, and Z. And if you approach those lines, you just don't. So you don't get seduced into saying things that misrepresent you, that don't reflect your brand or your company the way that they should reflect. You have to, it almost goes back to knowing yourself. You have to know yourself, and you have to know that if something feels wrong, it is wrong.
The Ink show, there was a trailer that came out, and there was a huge response from the community, and on social media in particular. What would you, if you were their PR person, what would you have done?
I think if I were their PR person, I would have asked them to reflect on their current clientele. I know it's very easy to think, oh, this is really cool. I'm going to be on national TV. I'm going to get all of this national exposure. But after all this hubbub goes away and the show has aired, everything quiets down, they're still in Springfield, Missouri. And their clients may come from areas around Springfield, but they still have to live here. And so anything that is said potentially aggravating about a community in which you get your bottom line, your money from, is said that is unflattering, there's an element of risk. So as their PR person, I would have been at least, I would advise them to be a little bit aware of that as they go through this process. So I just wonder at the end of this, if they're going to reflect on this and say, was this really the best decision for my business?
So from a reputation management perspective, one thing that's really changed is social media. It can take this one incident and prolong the life of it for sometimes months, even years, or it dies off and it comes back. Like, what can a business do from a perspective of be in the spotlight to prepare themselves for maybe something they do on purpose or on accident that could be damaging to their brands from a PR and like if they were a part of a reality TV show?
Build it. You have to, it's similar to crisis preparation. You have to assume that at some point in time you're going to have something negative appear about you online, because it's probably going to happen. It's the same way if you're in crisis communication. You prepare, and you assume that it's not if, but when. So basic public relations, you prepare for the worst. And in order to prepare for the worst, you push out as much positive information about you or your brand that's published out there in credible sources before anything ever happens. So that if one fluke incident happens, you have buyers, you have shoppers, you have viewers and readers that are out there Googling, making their own decisions. They're able to see, okay, we've got this one off-the-wall negative post about you or article, and we've got 55 other links on Google that say, you're awesome. So you have to build it, you have to build that foundation.
So this is kind of really geared towards if you have one of your clients who's offered a gig on a reality TV show, would you advise them to take it or not?
Depends. It depends on who their customer base is. I know that's kind of a back at you question. For example, there's also the motto that no PR is bad PR. That's true for celebrities. That's not necessarily true for local businesses, because plenty of local businesses have bit the dust when they get some bad PR, because then nobody wants to go frequent their business. However, if you are a public figure, in some essence, that could be true as long as it's not something that is an attack on their person, like a sexual charge or something that questions that portion of their life. That, if they're a politician, if they have bad politics, that's still an article about them, and they can still come back and give their side of it. So that's still business. So I would say it depends. It depends on what their end goal is, their company mission. If their client base is strictly in a small geographic area, what would be the point of being on a national TV show? Do you think the local people really care?